AI makes you more present with people, not less. It handles the things that eat up your time so that you can focus more on the things that require you to be more human. Welcome to the Fear Forward CEO, the podcast for business owners who are ready to build trust, generate referrals, and scale with smart systems and AI. I'm Tonya Gossage, and each week we talk leadership, growth, relationships, visibility, and practical strategies that move forward with confidence. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back to the Fear Forward CEO podcast. I'm Tonya Gossage, and this is episode 6, I believe. Today I want to talk to you about AI. And what I want to start off by saying is that some of the things that I say today, you may not necessarily expect from me. I'm not here to necessarily sell you on AI. I'm not here to tell you that you're going to be left behind. I'm not here to tell you that AI is going to solve all of your problems. But what I am here to tell you today is that if you use AI properly, AI makes you more present with people, not less. It handles the things that eat up your time so that you can focus more on what you need to be focusing on, so that you can give your full attention to the things that require you to be more human, okay? Building relationships, networking, working on revenue producing activity, those types of things. It's all in how you use AI. It's how I use AI. It's how I teach AI. And it's how we're going to be talking about it today. So let me give you a little bit of context about my journey with technology, because I think that it's going to help you to trust what I'm going to be sharing today. Okay, so when I was way back when in corporate, when I was training frontline staff, training teams, we had what we called a training lab. And it was 15 laptops, a portable printer, and we carried all of these in what I'm going to call laptop bags. That's basically what it is. Each laptop had all of the connection requirements to hook everything up and communicate, if you will, to the main systems back in the operations department. Okay, so in the beginning, someone from our IT department would travel with me to help me set up what we called, again, the training lab. So one day I decided, gosh, I hate that they have to travel with me to do this. It takes time out of their schedules to do this with me. I really need to learn how to do this myself so that I can be self-sufficient and they not have to do this with me. So I started watching them and doing some of it myself, and they would help me when things would go wrong. They would teach me and explain to me how things work so that I could eventually learn it. Well, long story short, I eventually learned how to set up the entire process, and that's really when my love for AI really started. Years later, we're going to fast forward. I'm going to leave a lot of the story out, but that's really all you need to know about that. But I was brought in many years later to help out with the bank, bringing in a vendor to work with us on building out, if you will, a customer management relationship system, which we called a CRM. So I walked into a meeting with our marketing director at that time, and some of you may have heard the story, parts of the story, but anyway, I was working with them, and he was sharing with us what we were going to be doing, how it was all going to work. I was going to be the project leader. I was going to be working with the marketing team, and we were going to build this out, and we were going to grow by massive amounts in all of these areas by bringing in this new system. And I was going to be training the teams and so on and so forth. Well, long story short, at the end of the meeting, I had no clue what the man was talking about. And when I say no clue, I mean no clue. I had no idea what he was talking about. Very foreign language was being spoken. And so when he left, I looked at her and I was like, what the ham and cheese did he just say? Because I have no idea. And so I contacted him a day or two later, and I'm like, look, I'm embarrassed to tell you this, but if we're going to work together, you're going to have to dumb this way down for me, because I don't get it. And I felt like I was the wrong person for the project because I felt dumb. I felt underqualified. I didn't know if I could do it. And here I've been handed the biggest project I felt like that I had ever been given for the bank, and they picked the wrong person. Well, long story short, he brought me and the marketing director a book to read about what we were going to be doing. That book was so helpful. He was so kind. He was so understanding. And we started the relationship. But here's what I want you to learn as a leader, as a CEO, as an owner of your business is I did not quit. I didn't give up. Did I fear forward? Yes. I was scared out of my wits because I was so afraid I was going to fail. But I read the book that he brought me. I asked all of the questions. I started getting into the system and help building it. But I had to take baby steps and learn. I had to ask a lot of questions. And he did not make me feel stupid, I just have to say. But eventually, I became the person that the entire organization depended upon to run it, to train, to teach, to do all of the things. I became the expert of that system. And then when we began to launch it, he did the first training session. Everybody understood what I'm talking about because it was way over their heads. And I had to retrain what he trained because, again, I had to bring it way down into our, I'll call it English language, to teach and use different types of analogies to help them understand what was going on. And really, it's the same thing with AI. And I'm going to get there in just a second. But the thing is, I trained a couple of people to help me train this same platform. But again, long story short, when we left, they had to terminate the program because nobody else knew it well enough to train the system. But we beat industry standards. We got so good, and I mean so good, at using that system and deploying campaign after campaign after campaign to our front line that they could use with their clients, that we were beating industry standards for converting clients into purchases of products, into new things we were launching. We got so good at it. So here's the story that I want to tell, and what I want you to learn from this. You have to start somewhere. You do not have to be the expert. You just have to start. And that's what AI is all about. As you begin to learn, you don't know it all right now. You just have to take baby steps to get started. And AI is not your strategy. It is your support system. Strategy still requires you. Relationships still require you. Judgment still requires you. Culture still requires you. But all of the task that drains your time, the repetitive ones, all those things, all of that administrative work, the ones that keep you from all of this higher value work, those can be supported by AI tools. Just like when we put in that AI system, all of the work that our front line was trying to do to convert people to get a debit card, to get online banking, to get set up on direct deposit. All of these things that we were working on to try to get people to be sticky with us, we created a tool and implemented these strategies to help us automate things in our workflows that helped us be more efficient and make more money. And man, did we make more money. Like I said, we were beating industry standards in the ways that we were doing things. And so these are the things that I want you to think about in the ways that AI can help you do the very same thing in what we did with creating that CRM back then. And so I'm just going to give you, there's so many more, but I'm going to give you 5 simple things that you can use AI to make a huge difference in your work today. Okay, so write these down. And they're simple. But number 1 is content creation and repurposing. If you're creating content manually from scratch every single week, you are spending time doing things you don't need to be doing, okay? AI can help you draft, repurpose, systemize your content so that one idea becomes multiple pieces across multiple platforms. Sit down, talk to AI, tell it stories, and then from those stories, create content. Tell it anything. Talk about your success stories. Talk about the things that you do in your back office. Talk about things from your history, anything. Sit and talk to AI and then let AI create the content from you. And then you might say, it doesn't sound like me. I'm going to push back on that, because if you're talking to AI, you can tell it to pull your tone from that, your voice from that. And so if you're training and talking to AI, it knows exactly what your voice is. Pull frameworks from that so that it can sound just like you. And so over time, it will create content that is just like you. It takes some time up front, but put in the investment so that it will pay you back time and time and time again. It will do it. Number 2 is follow-up messaging. Use AI to help you draft follow-up messages, check-in sequences, DM outreach. All of that can be personalized. AI writes the frame, and then you just add those human elements to it, and the result is still personable, but it's so much faster. I'm going to give you some ways and some workflows that I've put in here at the end to show you what exactly I'm talking about. And so number 3, research and preparation. Before a client call, before a partnership conversation, before a speaking engagement, use AI to do the research, prep your questions, organize all of your thoughts. That is going to cut your preparation time in half, if not more than half. Again, I'm going to tell you how to do it here in just a few minutes. So number 4 is systems documentation. Either last week or the week prior, I don't remember exactly when, but I've talked to you about your delivery process needing documentation. AI is remarkable at helping you turn your brain dumps into clean, organized process documentation. You talk through what you do and it's going to organize it for you. Then you just review it and refine it and it's done. You're walking through processes and workflows with AI. Tell it to turn around and create your SOP, your standard operating procedure. Tell it to document it for your team. Then if you want that automated, Tell it to turn around and drop that into your Google Docs or your Google Drive for you. Or tell it to put it into Notion or to put it in Trello, wherever it is that you have your connectors created, and it will do just that for you. Boom, done. Create an email to my team and let them know that SOP has just been created and it's ready for them to view. Send. Done. I'm telling you, this stuff is simple. Number 5, email and communication drafting. For long communications, proposals, and outlines and summaries, AI can handle that first draft for you so that you can focus on other things, revenue producing activities, networking, building relationships, rather than just staring at a blank page. Oftentimes, if I don't know what I want to say to somebody, I'll just turn on the recorder and just start babbling. And then after I'm done babbling, I'll tell AI just to organize my thoughts into an email, and boom, it's done. It says it better than I could have ever organized that communication. It is amazing. And I know I sound excited. I am excited because when I talk about AI, it just freaking amazes me at what it can do to cut down the hours in my day, the hours in my week, the hours in my month. I'm getting so much more done. It is absolutely amazing. And so I do get excited when I do go to talk about that. And so that was number 5, email and communication drafting. So now let me talk about some of the things that I have actually set up. You can go in and set up a workflow, a dashboard, whatever you want to call it. In Claude, I get every single day an email that has gone through, and I can refresh it anytime throughout the day so that it goes in and captures all the emails that I've gotten throughout the day. But it will capture all of my urgent emails for me and draft a response to those. And when I say it will speak in your language, it will craft those email responses in your language. And half of the time, it does a much better job than the way that I would have responded to those. And so those are sitting in my drafts, and all I have to do is review it. If it sounds perfect, hit send. I don't have to sit here and try to draft my response back to that individual. Sometimes I do have to tweak them and to say something differently, but at least that's better than drafting the entire response. I get so many emails, I don't have time anymore to do those. It tells me which ones are urgent, and I don't have to go looking down through my emails anymore to find those that are urgent because I've set in parameters to tell me which ones are urgent. The ones that are sales solicitations, it tells me which ones are sales solicitations. Sometimes I'll get one that says, hey, this is something that you might want to take a look at. And if it tells me I might want to take a look at it, I take a look at it. And it tells me when people are trying to get on my podcast. I have a standard response for those. But I do look at them because it may be somebody I want to bring on to my podcast. And so I don't have time to go through all of my emails. You guys may have that time. I don't. And if you don't like being responded to by artificial intelligence, that sounds like by me, well, then maybe you don't want to send me an email. But I do look at them. I just need to work faster because I'm literally working on revenue producing activity. I'm looking for clients. I'm looking for you clients if you're in my ecosystem. I'm looking for people that I can refer to other people. I'm looking for people that I can do business with and impact. I am trying to grow my power connectors. I'm trying to grow my Make Wellness. I'm all about impact, and that's what I'm working on. And so anyway, I don't know how I got off on that, but anyway, let's get back to this. But the rule for AI with me is I don't let it replace the human moments. If there is something that I need to engage with and it needs to come directly from me, then I am picking up this phone and I'm hitting audio for voice, sending a voice message. Or I'm hitting this microphone down in the bottom of my phone and I'm doing voice to text and I'm sending messages that way. And so I am being as human as I can, but I'm working as quick as I can, getting as much out as I can in a day, but I'm trying to be as efficient as I can using artificial intelligence where I can, because it has made me much more efficient than I was without it. And so I say all of that to say AI handles the volume for me, and I handle all of the personal moments that need to be handled by the human, or by a human, and that's me. And that's the balance in how that I look at it. And so here's the action that I want you to take this week. I want you to pick one task that you do every single week, or maybe even it's a day, that takes time but does not require your direct expertise. For example, AI can do it. It could be drafting social media content. It could be writing a follow-up email. It could be summarizing notes. And when it comes to notes, listen to this. This is how much time, again, AI takes off of me. At the end of every day at 6 p.m., AI goes out and looks at all of the meetings I've been on, and where AI has taken notes for me from that meeting, and it moves those notes to my Google Drive, and it reviews them and creates a summary for me. And anything that is a to-do for me that I need to do, it moves those to-dos to my to-do list. And I have folders for all of my clients, and if it was a client meeting, it moves it to my to-do list for my client. If it's just a to-do for me on somebody that's not a client, then it puts it in that generic Gossage Consulting to-do list. And then I know what it is that I need to get out from the things that I said that I would do. And so I don't have to go back and look through those meeting notes. I know that AI is going to handle all of that on my behalf, which is phenomenal. I love that. I can even take that even further if I wanted to and have it draft a follow-up email or anything like that. I've not done that as of yet, but that is probably in my future. And so I want you to test one AI tool this week, one task, one tool, just one this week, and see what it does to your time. And I want you to document how that feels, and then just decide where you want to go from there. Okay? AI is not the future. AI is the present. We are here, friends. We are here. And the CEOs who learn it and use it well is going to have a massive advantage over the ones who are still doing everything manually. I hope that really sinks in. But here's the thing that I want you to remember. The advantage is not in the tool. Let me say that again. Here's what I want you to remember. The advantage is not in the tool. The advantage is having more time and more energy for the relationships and the leadership that nobody can automate. AI cannot automate that. You are the one that has to do that. Okay? So, I want you to understand that what I've talked about today, it's real. It's a real story. It's real results for a real conversation. And so until next week, I want you to continue to build trust. I want you to continue to make your connections count, because they do. And I absolutely want you to fear forward through doing this task that I've given to you if you've not already been using it. I love you, and I will see you again next week right here on the Fear Forward CEO podcast. Bye.